All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Happy Thursday. Oh, what do you guys think? I wanted to put an alert out even at the end of the day, and then I just was like, I don't know. I'm gonna wait and see if it comes and holds for tomorrow. Um, there wasn't a lot, that's for sure. We said we're gonna search today. So yeah, let's go through it. Good evening, Lee. Good to see you. Hello, Stephen. Glad you could make it. Good evening to you, Bob Roland. Everybody else, who do we have here? Let me see where my list is. I like to keep tabs. I take attendance, I mark it down so I can tell who's been, who hasn't. Hello, Craig. Good to see you, sir. Traveling, logging in from the hotel. That's dedication. That is what we're talking about right there. Love that. Why can't I find my list of attendees? It doesn't make any sense to me. There we go. Now I see you all. Okay. All right, let's jump in. No reason to wait. No reason to dilly-dally. I hope you guys had a good session with Glenn. And of course, I have no doubt you did. That's what that's what Glenn does. Some people don't know this about Glenn. He doesn't have a B game. Yeah? He just doesn't. It's A or nothing. All right, let's keep going. Welcome everyone, Market Watch Group Trading Foundation's open forum. My name is Scott. I'll be your host. Glenn is here riding shotgun for at least 15 minutes or so. So the reason for that is if you have any lingering questions from your previous session, you can continue. You can just be like, "Hey, Glenn, you were just make sure that you or if you just have questions and they're popping in, he'll watch and make sure and answer those as well." So, all right. Let's go. What do we need to know? As always, we're not brokers, we're not advisors. We don't give recommendations to buy or sell securities or financial products. This is for education, illustrative purposes only. Yada yada. Let's go to the platform. Let's see what is cracking. This was the one. This was the one that I was looking at, and right at the end of the day, you could see it started to have that little retracement up here. I was like, okay, this thing looks like it's ready to go. And then we just sort of lost our shabango and ended up back down in this area down here. Um, I'll probably look at this high that if we can bounce and break through that 251.30 level, 251.30. But you can see I had this thing all lined up. Um, and the entry is between 250.75, which is where we are now. Theoretically, it is in that area, but I'd like to see it after this little mini sell off. I would like to see it actually come back into play. So, um, yeah, but this is the preview. What was the thought here? And tell me if you see anything else that you think looks nice. The thought is the break of the pennant, bing, trying to pop out of it. Not as convincing, although there, and who knows, I might be like tomorrow, we might see it gap up. Do I always use 5 minute charts during the day? I rarely do, Bob. I rarely do during the day. Afterwards, I like to go back and be like, okay, how did this thing play out? Did it go up, down, up? Did it go down, up, down, up, up? I mean, like I kind of like to see through the day. If I'm day trading, then I absolutely will use the 5 minute. Absolutely, I like the five. I've tried the 2 and the 3, and I'm not a fan. Glenn, in a conversation I had with him recently, said, and I don't know if he still does, but definitely used to use a 2 minute. So yeah, I mean, if you're a one, I find 1 or 2 minutes is really more of a scalp, and then at 3 is when you start hitting. But there's really a huge gray area between scalping and day trading, anyways. So no, I'm only going to use 5 minute charts for day trading and then for intraday perspective. No decisions. No decisions. Decisions will only come from hourly, 2 hour, and daily. So 2, 5, and 15. 2, 5, and 15. There you go. There you go. Now, what was my thought here? My thought here is not that I need to come put my stop, below these lows back here. My thought is I'm going to put my stop could even be as I break and then give it some room. You don't have to give this all that much space, right? But you can. I mean, I can come in and give it something like this, and then I'm looking for like up there, kind of like this last move. So maybe not quite that much, but close. I mean, I like that it had bullish volume on a bad day, although a chunk of that came here at the end. Let's go through the watch list. So that's setting up for an alert. You can just kind of be looking at it and thinking about it, and then if it comes, it'll be tomorrow, probably in the morning. I would expect. But if we have like a big 1% gap down, yeah, don't expect it to come. Okay. Thoughts on that one? Did anybody did anybody as we went through today, did anybody identify that stock as one that they were like, oh, I kind of like how that's trying to pop up out? Let me know. What did you like? What are the symbols that you liked? We'll go through. Holler if you see one that I should stop on. Apple. It's got to pull back here, right? There's nothing for us. And as you see this starting, well, why would we derail that? Of course we wouldn't, right? Amazon. That's a big hammer right there. But for me, I need this now, right? It's not as big as this one over here, but you can see even here, we went up, down, boom. Now, well, it's hard because you had the earnings, but we don't have that this time, right? We don't have that this time. So app has now closed the gap completely, right? You can see this, and it's actually, if it would have held at 4 and turned, I'd be thinking about it. But today was down 8%. 8% on 150% volume. I'm not like, oh, let's get ready for this thing to bounce off the 50 now. What are you talking about? I don't think that. Yeah, I definitely do not think that. Okay. Okay. Baba, maybe, maybe setting up after this pullback. Maybe. Bank of America, no, continues to drop financials. We've basically, kind of started shunning the entire group of financials and industrials. More drop on BX, more drop on Caterpillar. These guys no longer at play. Sienna, CLS. We thought there might be something there, but no. CME, yes, I still like. Cisco, hell yes. It's not there yet, but it's getting close. It's trying. Delta, no. Diamonds, No. Duke Energy continues to run. Fastenal. No. FHN. Yes. Yes. Um, I'm okay with it. I don't love it. I don't love it. I really wanted to see this level hold. It didn't quite hold. But if we can pop back up, and I might be thinking, okay, maybe there is something there after all. Flex. Nope. Fox. Yes. Fox, yes, but Fox is on an engulfing candle today with volume, with above average volume. So in this situation, I'm gonna say, yeah, that I'm gonna say hold off still. Yeah, hold off still. GBTC. Oh, did you guys see Bitcoin today? Who saw that? Bitcoin get smashed. I don't know, man. I thought everyone was like, Trump is the crypto president. Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I'm not like arguing for it by any stretch. I think that organically it's gonna come without, any one champion necessarily. But I don't know. I don't know. GEV down. Yeah, it's not looking great out there. Gold is up, but just starting to pull back. Google looks like turd. Goldman Sachs. I still would be okay with Goldman. It needs to recover soon. It's right at the 50. It's a little below the 50, but only barely. Right? But only barely. But only barely. And so if we saw like an inside day here and then this thing started to turn around and then boom, I'd be like, okay, you know what? Maybe we can go ahead and take that trade. I like Goldman. I think Goldman's a leader in the financial sector. So there you go. Hood, Robin Hood. Nah, it was getting the market was loving it. The market was definitely enjoying the run, and then all of a sudden, after like it gapped on earnings, and now it's just like do. HTHT, that's another one I do like. I do think that this is pulling back, giving us a support level, and getting ready to hopefully make that turn soon. How about RTX? Definitely, I'll look at Raytheon. Absolutely. Remind me if I forget when we get closer. You know, I'm superstitious and I cannot break alphabetical order without the market gods punishing me. Nobody wants that. More than a flag, but still just a good pullback to old resistance. And as we know, old resistance has a tendency to become new support. But it's got to turn. And then what? I'm going to look for something like that. Get me over here. Okay. IBM. I'm in. Not like I'm in it. I'm in for it. If I was in it, I'd be like, I was in it. Actually, I did take this one for this move here. On this is one of the things that we're looking at on a different trade, that it holds the gap, right? That's significant. Even if it just retests the old high, that's still a favorable trade. Um, IP. Boom, boom. Here, pulling back. There it is. I definitely think there's some potential there. I'd be willing to trade that coming out. IWM is looking dogged out. Coca-Cola overextended. We need a pullback. MasterCard, I don't know, kind of a maybe. Couple of credit providers look pretty decent today with MasterCard and uh Visa. Visa. Um What else? Meta. I would trade Meta holding the 50, but it needs to hold the 50, right? It needs to hold the 50. If it does, I would be thinking about it. Now, would I think to myself, I'm going to get this trade over here again? Nope. All I care about in this trade would actually be probably not even the highest high, but if it stabilizes and then turns, that's 50 points from there to there, right? So if I can do that and only risk, 15, that's 3 to 1. Might be a little more than 15. We'll have to see. But yeah, I think there's something developing in Meta potentially. Okay. Morgan, dog. Microsoft, dog. Oh, look at that. NDAQ. Mm, it's not really holding. Oh, Netflix. Netflix. I mean, they keep raising our rates and none of us cancel. Am I wrong? They're like, hey, we're going to raise it again. I'm like, oh, you bastards. And then they do it and I'd stay anyways. Hardly ever watch it. My kids like it. I'll trade. I'll get it back. Huh? I'll get it back. Don't you worry, Netflix. We'll come out square. Nvidia. I'll come out ahead. Nvidia, it's got to get through earnings. Maybe. PLTR. Oh man, it filled the whole gap. It closed the window all the way back down, but holding the 50. Would I think about it? Yes, because it's PLTR and I'm loyal. I'm loyal to PLTR. PLTR is loyal to me. Maybe. QQQ. Not looking great. Big tech sell off these last 3 days. I want you to consider how much we've been talking about the buoy, the anchor that is the NASDAQ strength. That and jobs, right, have been two of the most important things. And now all of a sudden it's like, whoa, what's going on here? Roblox doesn't look good. Reddit doesn't look good. Rocket Labs doesn't look good. C limited ADR, yes, still for me, though. Hopefully, we get that trade soon because you don't have much time before earnings comes out. Still be mindful. Snowflake earnings coming out. SoFi, let's pull back. I don't know. That one's. I gotta tell you guys, as you look at what's going on, concerns are elevating. We now have 2 more above average volume days. As of now, our volume score is definitely going to drop. Agree? Disagree? Give me your thoughts. We haven't broken the red line, and we already lowered the red number last week. I actually still don't think, even though we've come all the way back down to here, I still don't think as of now, I'm going to take away anything for the short term, but I gotta say, like it's still looks like we're gonna maybe drop some, and it's only Tuesday. Miguel agrees. Bob agrees. I have to say, I did my scan, and there were more setups with our strategy for puts. Miguel said. Kami agrees as well. Okay. Good evening, Kami. By the way. Um, Here's my only thing with puts. And I'm about to get to. Oh, I missed RTX. Damn it, Scott. Get back there. Ugh. I'm within a letter. Oh, yeah, that's exactly the kind. That is exactly the kind of thing that we're looking for. And not only that, now I want you to notice this, okay? Held the 50. That's something that we keep talking about is can it at least hold the 50? And you can see here, it gave me a signal here. And then what? Did it fail? No, we don't call that a failure. That is not what we characterize as a failure. We characterize that as a hiccup. Failure only occurs if it breaks support. It didn't. So that's a trade. And if you miss that trade, one of the things that we as a group like is trading after hiccups. There's plenty of times we see signals and we're just whatever. Right? We took a different trade. We had too many in that area. And then it goes up, pulls back. And then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, this thing just gave me a hiccup. And I like hiccups. So, yes, I like that. That would be bullish. Now, puts. Here's my problem. Here's my problem. And I'll tell you one of mine. And I mentioned this to you guys. I didn't put it out as an alert, but Tesla. What's the tendency we have here? Double top, broke the top, down, lower low, lower high. Held, boom, lower low, lower high. What is the common thread that I'm looking for in a put trade? Similarly, yet inversely mirrored to calls. When I buy a call, I want an uptrend after a pullback bouncing off support. Uptrend after pullback bouncing off support. Let's make an opposite of that. Then what would we want? We would want a downtrend after a move up, bouncing down off of resistance. Kevin says bear flag, question mark. And Scott says, oh, hell yes. That's exactly what we're thinking, right? Is pull flag. If you're thinking it has to be a perfect flag, it doesn't. We are not dogmatic about patterns or about any aspect of our technical analysis. 100% flag, 100%, right? You can kind of be like, oh yeah, I kind of see that. I kind of see that flag now. That's what it is, right? And so now the as it busts below, you could make the argument there. What else is happening? What else am I looking for? If I didn't catch that, I'm also looking for stochastics to be at or near oversold, although it doesn't have to be. Because if it's already started falling, there's a good chance it doesn't make it back up into overbought. I'm sorry. Overbought is the upper zone above 70 for me. For it to get up and then move into that overbought zone above 70 on that stochastics or whatever overbought. I mean, whatever. I don't care if you use 7.3 stochastics, if you use 10.10, if you use 14.5, if you use MACD, if you use RSI, it doesn't matter. You know, you're going to have these overbought, oversold zones, and you're going to want to make sure that they're accurate relative to the price action that you're trading. And I would say this is. And now what? As I said, I think the next stop as of right now, maybe it stalls here, but it's really already gone through there. I think it's here. I think it's about 275. So, although let me show you something. This will be fun. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to come down and I'm going to run our basic bullish search. I'm going to pull it out, move this back. Okay, basic bullish search will stay the same to become a basic bearish search. And there's a couple of things that might happen. So I'm going to actually leave the price above the 50, but put it below, excuse me, above the 200, but below the 50. And that's going to completely change a lot of things. And you can see, what is it changing? Well, it's getting me lower, although, yeah, I mean, you can actually see this CNX. That's something. Down, up, it started to roll and it's giving a little bit of a hiccup, but it's a bearish hiccup. Yeah. Thoughts on that? Let me know. So if you're looking bearish, what are we looking for? A rally. I want to rally so I can see that the buyers, when we trade bullishly, what is the last step? It's not about buyers at the last step. It's about buyers in the setup with a trend, right? A trend represents an overarching imbalance in favor of the buyers. That's what an uptrend represents. What are we looking for in that final step before a trade? We're looking for the sellers to fail. And then we're going to try to jump in, right? Before there's before it disappears. And so in this case, what are we looking for? We're looking for the sellers to fail. Reverse that. I'm messing myself up today. If we're bullish, we want the sellers to fail. I think I did say that actually. So if the sellers fail as it's coming down, what's it going to create? A higher low. What does that tell us about demand and supply? Well, the supply was coming in, and what happened? The demand overcame it earlier than it did prior, which means that the demand is still in a positive imbalance in our favor. It just boils down to supply and demand when you think about it. And just making sure that we're trying to interpret that. Okay. Um, I do still want to search. I'm gonna finish the watch list. I'm gonna do a quick discretionary search. What my bottom line is I'm not feeling bearish now. Why? Because most everything we've seen has just done what? Now, if this goes up here, oh, well, now that's a horse of a different color. And remember, the tendency is for stocks to walk upstairs and fall out windows. Okay, so let me keep going. Twilio, no. UUP, maybe. And Visa. Oh, Visa. Visa. Actually, I was looking at Visa and I was focused on CME, and this guy right here made this final pop. Oh, I don't know. Would I be willing? So here's the problem though. Would I be willing to put on a trade in financials credit with Visa and financials exchanges with the Merck CME? You've also got NDAQ. That's another exchange. That's tough. That's tough. Okay. But that looks bullish to me. BFC looks bullish to me on this pullback. Viking Cruises. Here we go. Nope, that wasn't Viking Cruises. That was VFC. Sorry, I was looking at VIK on the other line. Viking Cruises. Oh, Viking Cruises holding up. If it can turn, I'm gonna like it. VIX. Uh, yeah, VIX is interesting. Why? Because because of the wonderful things it does. Lower than these, but not this, but these bodies definitely are. I mean, if this rolls over, am I going to be like, that's a signal? No, but it is going to be at least beneficial towards bullishness if we see that. So yeah, we definitely and if we see it not get above 20 during a period of uncertainty, that's just better for us if that's what happens. Okay. Okay, what else? Walmart busted higher today. I was waiting to see what might happen with it. I do feel like it's an overreaction, but I don't think it's going to get above here without a second try. So I'm thinking it's going to stall, come back. That's our trade in there, right? That's the trade I'm looking for. Okay. What's next? How much time do we have? Oh, we're still good. Anyone else want to throw one at me? What sector am I putting Walmart in? I'm putting Walmart in consumer. 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 Yeah, I don't know. It's partly one foot in discretionary, one foot in staples. Steven's like, so what's that second word you're saying, Scott? What are you mumbling? What are you mumbling over there, buddy? Yeah, I was mumbling nothing. I'm not really. I mean, I think it's theoretically characterized in staples, and staples is seen more of a benefit, but I see it as a kind of straddling both sides. But you're right that staples is that's the one we were going to go search through anyway. So, yeah, that's kind of how I see it, as it were, as it is. Sorry, team. Got to. Oh, thanks, Kami. Good to see you. See you soon. DRI Home Builders. Let's go see some home builders. Was that home builders? Oh no, it's Darden Restaurants. I was thinking DHI. Sorry, I was thinking. Speaking of Darden Restaurants, I ate there. I didn't eat there tonight. I have it. Isn't Darden Olive Garden, or is that someone else? Who is Darden? Who am I thinking of that has Olive Garden? Anyway, I've got some Olive Garden waiting for me when I come out. Leftover takeout. All right, what do we have here? Yeah, Olive Garden. Thank you, Lee. I thought so. Yeah, I like Darden quite a bit. That's consumer discretionary, which we still like. I would say that's if you traded that tonight, Bob, I'd be like, good trade, good signal, good catch. If you catch it tomorrow at or near its current price, I would actually say this may have a hike in Ashy. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, come on, Scott, get it together. Yep, yep. Chipotle CMG Burrito Factory is what I like to call it. The CMG Burrito Factory. They've really dropped off where I am. I haven't gone to one for a while because the last few times I'm like, come on, man, you guys are just going through the motions with your burritos. I want a quality burrito. CMG. I haven't. Oh God. Yeah. Um. Doesn't look good. It has a pretty steep consolidation. It's not like it's going bankrupt. This thing pops out of here and did this. I'd think about it. Sure, why not? Um, this was one of those, right? It broke up, took a while, came down, trade. Then it did it again. Not here. That's not a trade. Broke up, pulled back, boom, trade. That's classic, right? That's a classic trade for us right there. Higher high, higher low. I'd like to tell you that that was a trade, but it wasn't. Why? Because it gapped too far before it gave me my actual signal. Right? Let's be realistic when we can. Um, Materials holding up. Communication services still strong. Still like Meta if it can hold. Energy still has more. Financials I like still. Industrials no. No. No problem. No problem. XLK, maybe, but God, that's a big sell off right there. XLP, that's what Steven was talking about. Those staples. So in previous times, we're like, oh, it's just everything moving. Not anymore. This is no longer everything moving. That, in this context, in my opinion, is defensive. That's defensive posturing. Weigh in, everybody, if you agree, disagree. Give me your thoughts. I don't like the way that I see that moving like that for staples. Utilities, same kind of a thing. I mean, this utilities Looks like it's trying to move. We might want to think about something in that range as well. Healthcare, nah. Oh, I just don't. Healthcare for me is like precious metals. I don't trade a lot of that. XLE or XLY, consumer discretionary. You can see looking way less in momentum relative to our staples. So the staples are looking pretty good. Lastly, XPEV. I've got 7 minutes to go build a search. You thought I was going to wrap up. I'm not wrap. I need to pull back on XPEV. Okay, let's go back. And you might be thinking, wait, you were just doing a bearish search. Found with it. Okay, let's go back. Price above and above. I'm going to go above the 50, above the 200 again. And I'm going to go back to descriptive. I want you to notice we're down to 323. Okay, so our searching can help us as a barometer, so to speak, of the market. When we were a 6 or a 7, we were getting 450, 500 stocks. Now we're at 320. Only 320 stocks right now meet our baseline criteria before we start adding moving average criteria. Interesting, right? We only have five things here. Is the stock over $10 a share? Does it have 2 million shares of volume, meaning it's got to be liquid? Is it optionable and shortable? And that one really wouldn't help. I bet that one only has, let's test it, maybe 5. Watch the number, 323. Let's just go to all. 331, 6. But I want it. So I put that there. Now we go to technical. Price above the 50, price above the 200. Those 5 criteria. Now, without them, what do we have? Without them, we have about 8,000 stocks. So this is not, everyone will be like, oh, there's like 15,000 stocks. If you include OTC, pink sheets, bulletin boards, yada, yada. But if you're just looking at exchange traded, 8,000. And with these 5 criteria, we've taken 8,000 down to 323. Then we say, let's go ahead now and go to the consumer defensive. Now we're down to 19. Oh, that HIMS. I swear we had HIMS on our list. What have we done? I'm putting it back on. We had HIMS and it fell apart, I thought. Or maybe we didn't. Maybe I'm making that up in my head. No, I'm making that up in my head. I think maybe we had it and I got rid of it in here. I don't know, but that sucker took off again. I actually feel like it's a shark frenzy back down. I'm not going to put it on my list right now. PM, is that Philip Morris? Tobacco, that's defensive for sure. I'll put PM. Oh, look at this guy. TAL. Talon. Oh, that used to be Talon Group, I think. Education and training services out of China. That's got some momentum. Kroger's got some look to it. Old Philip Morris. What is this now? Kraft? Altria. I'm gonna go PM, TAL, and KR so far. PM, TAL. Anybody have anything else you want to lobby for? KR. We have Coke. Keurig, Dr. Pepper. I do love Dr. Pepper. Who doesn't love Dr. Pepper? Who doesn't love Dr. Pepper? No, I don't see much through here. I mean, I'm not going to just take anything. Ooh, Albertsons. Albertsons and Kroger look very similar. We already have Walmart. That's a grocery store, discount store. PG, no. Primo Brands. That's a move. That's a little bit of a mover in there. All right, I'm gonna put PRMB in the mix. And just like that, 5. We got 5 new stocks on our list. As we clean them out, we need to make sure we're putting them on to make sure that our list is representative of the strongest, most liquid in whatever sectors we like at the time. So all right, we snuck that search in real fast, buffed up the watch list a little bit. Yeah, let's be careful. I mean, we said this on Friday, we said it on Sunday. What were the five? Oh shit, Bob Roland. I don't know. Maybe it was four. Was it only four? Maybe it was only four. Maybe I'm just making that up. PRMB, TAL, and then there was some others. I'm gonna go look. PM, KR, and the fifth one was KMB. Do we want to put Kimberly Clark? Let's do it. I am putting it. That's the fifth one. KMB. Boom. Boom. All right. Good. Preview for the oh yeah, the sales in Europe. I don't know what Musk is doing, man. That guy. I'm not a fan, I got to tell you. I'm not a fan. Let's go look at the futures and we'll call it a night. I'll see you guys in the morning. Futures are flat. We'd love to see it stabilize. Love to see it push. Go from there. So awesome. Good night, everybody. That was a great night. I think we covered some good ground. I think we're having the right conversations. Hopefully, we're talking ourselves and helping talk each other into patience. Patience, patience, patience. Don't force. There's no need. Market's not going anywhere without you. Anyone who's forced trades over the last month to month and a half, I promise they're probably not very happy with where their results are now. I will see you guys tomorrow morning, same time as always, 9:15 a.m., 15 minutes prior to the market. It's good to see you all. Have a great rest of your night. And as always, happy trading.